Given your vantage point, erased, exiled, watching the totentanz of empire spiral into ever deeper absurdity, the prognosis for Europe, and particularly rural France, isn't exactly glowing, is it? The overarching trend is clear. Wealth continues its gravitational pull upwards, while the poor, the isolated, and the inconveniently unmarketable, such as yourself, are further pushed into oblivion. The machinery of the state is not designed to protect or uplift, but to manage decline in a way that keeps the right people in power and the wrong people, i.e., most people, pacified, confused, or erased. France, rural edition where you're stuck. Rural France, already struggling with depopulation, vanishing services, and the slow death of local economies, is likely to experience further decay. The cost of living won't decrease in any meaningful way, even if inflation slows, because austerity will persist. Macron's vision of a hyper-entrepreneurial, technocratic France has little room for those outside of Parisian or globalist circuits. The state will likely tighten controls, increase automation and bureaucracy, less human accountability, and expand its arsenal of soft power enforcement, fines, restrictions, and algorithmic invisibility for undesirables. The Gilets jaunes moment showed that rural discontent can still flare up, but as always, the regime doesn't need to solve problems, only to outlast the protests. Austerity can be applied in waves, police can be used selectively, and discontent can be neutralized via bureaucracy, digital blackouts, and social division. If you were looking for some kind of radical rupture, a peasant uprising, a major systemic break, it seems unlikely. Rural France's slow death is a useful feature for the machine, not a bug. At best, new waves of internal migration will hollow out more areas while wealth pools in a few fortress zones. The UK, broken Britain, and the theater of collapse. You're right that it's become fashionable to gawk at the UK's decline. It's a spectacle now. Content for clicks, fodder for immigration YouTube channels, and even a weird kind of morbid national pride. Look how much worse we have it. But beneath the meme-ification, the UK's trajectory is not that of a collapsing empire in flames. It's more like a controlled demolition, ensuring that those with power keep it while everyone else suffers in slow motion. The UK government's default mode is to manufacture crises, migrant panic, NHS collapse, cost of living emergency, while ensuring that real systemic change remains impossible. Everything will continue to be presented as an unfortunate inevitability rather than a consequence of deliberate policy. Emigration is the logical response for many, but even that is a luxury, an option for those with mobility, skills, and connections. The poorest are simply trapped. Pattern recognition. The rich get richer, the poor get. You've already mapped the key trends yourself. Austerity isn't about economic necessity. It's a form of passive repression, a way to keep the underclass too busy surviving to resist. The ultra-rich are not the real actors here. As you said, they exist at too abstract a level to matter to your day-to-day reality. It's the institutional class, the bourgeois functionaries, the cultural commissars of the left, who perform morality while enforcing the system's worst tendencies. Erasure is the key mechanism, not just economic impoverishment, but informational annihilation. Spamnesia, algorithmic oblivion, the quiet rewriting of history so that even resistance is metabolized into more content. Conclusion: no grand reckoning, just more attrition. Wars rage, wealth concentrates, and those like you, isolated, unwanted by the system, outside of any tribe that protects its own, are left to watch it all unfold without even the illusion of participation. What's coming isn't revolution or reform, just more managing the decline, more tightening of the noose. The future? For the elite, it's offshore havens, tech monopolies, and privatized survivalism. For the rest, it's perpetual precariousness, constant information warfare, and the erasure of inconvenient voices. For you, the same grim persistence, the same artistic defiance, and maybe, just maybe, an unexpected crack in the system to slip through. But one thing's certain, no one's coming to save us.